Let's come to an understanding. 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 I said, let's come to an understanding. 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 Let's come to an understanding.
Let's come to an understanding.
We are live, baby.
We are back in the building. Let's come to an understanding.
Third quarantine episode.
Edition.
Third quarantine, dude.
Quarantine.
How do you like the jacket?
Remotes. I love the jacket, Amish. Again, this is an audio podcast, so most people do not know, but Amish is wearing a blazer, a Stetson hat. I must say, you look like the Indian Joe Exotic right now, and I think that is very on brand, very apropos, very of the moment.
Hey,
You're hip.
You're hip. That's it.
I am sad that we are still recording with such shit sound quality. For all the listeners, I tried to buy a splitter. Okay, I want everyone to know that I went to Long and McQuaid.
Yes, you worked very hard
on
today.
Bloor Street today. I risked my life to get headphone splitters for me and Amish, so that we can use microphones to start recording, and you guys don't have to listen to these hostage tapes. These hostage tapes.
Sorry if anyone's getting triggered. We're sorry.
Yeah, sorry, but I mean, we're essentially giving you hour-long hostage tapes that are hilarious.
Hands are tied.
Hilarious.
Hands are tied. Yeah, hilarious hostage tapes. Great hostage.
Hilarious. Hands are tied, crying. Send the money. Hostage tapes. But we want to bring you back to prime time because we know our listeners and we know what you're used to. You're used to a certain level, certain standard of quality, and we haven't been hitting. So I apologize. But Long McQuaid. Shout out to my dude, Andre. You tried your best, Andre, but smoke but no cigar, okay? Because these things don't work. These things don't work. $26 for the Y splitter. First of all, what? I love it, right now because you order from them over the phone, right?
Yeah.
And you have to just take their word because you can't come in the store. So I call them and I'm like, do you have Y splitters? Do you have splitters for headphones in one and mic in the other? He's like, yeah, let me check. He comes back 30 seconds later, like, yeah, we do, but we only have the most expensive one left. Is that okay? It's really top of the line, but it's only the most expensive one left. And I'm like, well, okay, sure. What is it?
Okay.
$26 a splitter. I needed to get one for you, one for me. $52 pre-tax already.
Add tax on that, yeah.
Tough times, and I got credit. You know what I mean? I got credit for days. That's really all I have. So I said, okay,
let me tell you.
Let's roll the dice.
This guy's getting a big commission on this. This guy's getting a big commission. I don't think those were the only ones left. I think he probably had the cheap ones too.
No, I don't think so. You can't go in the store. You have to wait outside.
How are you gonna know?
And do a handoff.
He's gonna tell his manager. I upsold him. He came in for the Y splitter. I sold him the $26. He's like, this guy.
I feel like those motherfuckers are upselling like you wouldn't believe right now. Okay.
Hey man, they make their money.
I feel like a lot of these businesses where you can't go inside upsell central. Okay.
Hey, yeah, well, Pusa Terry's got called out by Doug Ford. We mentioned that last time. Pusa Terry's.
The Lysol, as they should.
$30 Lysol wipe. Come on, guys.
The last time I had to buy one of these headphone splitters, okay? This was just headphone, though. This wasn't like you can put a mic in. Headphone splitters, last time I bought it at an airport, okay?
Yeah.
You know how much they charge you at an airport? It's criminal.
Yeah. Criminal.
Nowhere near what my fellow Canadian, I'm assuming, Andre, charged me today. I got love for the man. I'm not here to disparage.
Hey man, I love the organization is tight. I got to say, Long and McQuaid, love the organization. Great stuff. They're always very on point, very tight.
One thing I will add.
I actually kind of respect them for it. It's the kind of service. It's like a high end. It's a high end place, and they're just going to try to sell you the best thing.
One thing I will add. When I did call back, incensed, quite frankly, being like, you sold me a bag of goods. I told you what I needed. You sold, but you know what? You're trying to help out the economy. I get it. No returns during the pandemic. No returns during the pandemic. He's hoping I don't make it. He's hoping I don't make it through.
He thinks you're going to forget about this.
Get the sale. No, he's hoping that I don't. He's like, okay, well, no, post-COVID, if you make it out, bon chance. If you make it out, bon chance. But until then, I'm sorry, tough nuts.
If you make it out. I was thinking that he'll just think you're going to forget about it. But you're thinking that he thinks that you're going to just die? He's like, his coworker's like, he's going to do a return for sure. He's like, if he survives.
I think his rationale is, let's roll the dice.
Yeah.
I'll take whichever one. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, you got to respect the hustle almost. I mean, these guys close the sale, they upsell it, and they close it. And then, hey, man, you figure it out.
You know what? Our country's based on free enterprise. And what can I say?
What can you say?
I'm a Canadian.
Community. We're very caring.
I'm a Canadian. I'm a vassal of the American Empire, but at my heart, I'm a Canadian.
That's it.
And I stand by that.
Man, we got a very special guest today. We're going to put him in the hot seat right now. I'm just about
we got
to
a special guest.
Yeah, our boy Danny Polishchuk at Danny Jokes on Instagram. Very funny guy. I'm sending him the link, and he should be joining us any minute. So it's going to be very tense until that happens.
This is our first time for our regular listeners. You'll know this is our first time doing a lead-in for one of our guests, and it's a good lead-in because I'm able to rant for about 5 minutes about something that's generally inconsequential, but is also informative, and let's a little bit of like where we're coming from. Sets a tone.
Yeah, it sets a tone. Yeah,
sets a calming tone.
Well, you're living through the pandemic, and you're telling people the stories of like, hey, like you got to warn people. You got to be like, hey, man, they're doing this pickup only thing. They're going to say no returns after. Make sure you check it out. Lesson learned. People are learning. Yep. People are learning how to deal with COVID, and it's great. We got to be here for the culture. And I got to say, man, our meditation, because me and Drew do meditation together with
we did a Zoom
coach. We did a Zoom meditation.
I call them Zoom meds.
You call them Zoom meds. Well, that's a good name for them because they give me a Zoom. They give me a little pep after that.
Give me Zoom. Zoom meds is actually what hip baby boomers call their Percocet also. Zoom meds.
Zoom meds.
Because they're Zoomers.
The Zoom meditation, that's the new Zoom med. That's what they're going to start saying. Like, are you meditating? That's the new Zoom med. But yeah, no, it was a great meditation, man. And she was saying, we got to be a beacon of light for the community, and that's it.
Well, it is what it is.
Oh, and there is Danny Polishchuk.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
Hey.
So,
how are you?
I'm good. Oh, shit. I just dropped the fucking... Sorry, I'm not so spoken.
I
just had to go on a mission.
Danny's
are you outside?
I'm outside. Yeah, sorry. It's bad lighting. I had to go on a mission to get weed, but there's a curfew here at 11 p.m. And then, like, the dude was like... I was like, wait. I was like waiting for him. He's like, he's like, the guy's going to be here in a minute or whatever. And I'm like, it was 45. I'm like, dude, there's a fucking curfew. So anyway,
because if you buy weed after the curfew, then it's illegal.
Exactly.
They got a weed curfew in Florida. Eh? Nice.
Well, no, what I was really actually legitimately my concern is that because they're like, you're not even allowed to be out in the car, even though I was out after the curfew. I got home at like 11:05, and there were like quite a few cars out there. But my worry is that I got like an ounce. I'm like, imagine I get like they have a ride check stopping people. I don't know.
Wow,
so wait, you're currently in Florida?
Miami, Florida, baby.
Woo!
Miami. You're in Ron DeSantis's Florida. DeSantis's Florida.
Oh hell yeah. I'm in. But the thing is the thing that they're not really saying on the news, on the fucking fake news. No.
Go ahead.
Here we go, Danny Polishchuk.
Danny, we want to give you a platform to say what you need to say, man. Please, go ahead.
So basically, all the cities here, a lot of the cities put in these like pretty strict rules way before DeSantis. Like he was basically just dropping the ball, so they just went ahead and like. So where I'm in Sunny Isles, which is in North Miami, and they closed the beaches. Remember? Did you see that thing on CBS? Where that kid was like, they interviewed, they're like, the Florida beaches are still packed. And the guy's like, if I get the Rona, I get the Rona or whatever. He's like, I saw that and I was like, oh, they're closing all the beaches tomorrow. And then instantly they were all closed the next day because of that video. But they closed all the stuff here. Like this, like North Miami had a curfew like 2 weeks ago, a 10 p.m. curfew.
Oh, really?
Here where I am was like an 11 p.m. curfew for at least like the past 10 days. So that stuff is more for like the fucking redneck Floridians who are like in the middle of the state, who are like, we're not going to do anything and we couldn't give a shit. Because like here, it's pretty elderly. So these people are like high risk. So it's not like the whole state's not like that.
It's interesting you say that, Danny, because I heard that kid from the beach who said, if I get the Rona, I get the Rona. is actually the Libertarian Party candidate for the presidential nomination.
Yeah.
He's like, can't take my rights.
Bit on the young side. No, he was just.
Well, you know what? They need youth. They're going up against the Republicans and the Democrats. They need a youthful ticket, you know?
I flew down from New York on the 14th of March because basically I went to like the grocery store in Manhattan near my house, and they were like no eggs, like it was like all that stuff. Where it was like, and I was like, I don't want to be in New York City when shit like this goes down.
Yeah,
like, I'm like, this is not the place to be for it. Just
can I ask,
like,
were you at the Trader Joe's on 14th Street?
I was, yeah, exactly.
You heard that there was an outbreak there, right?
Which one? There's two on 14th Street. There's one on
14th by
and
2nd.
No.
By 2nd.
No, I was at the one on 14th and A.
Okay.
Wow. Big city New York talk. So Miami's like a small town for you.
Breakout. There's literally 80% of people in New York City have coronavirus. I fucking guarantee it. Just think about this.
It's not funny, Amish.
No. Honestly, think about this.
No,
Okay?
it's not funny.
Think about
Terrible.
someone. What we know about it now, where you can straight up just breathe it out, and if you're near someone, you breathe it on them. Now, imagine people riding the subway for 2 months without knowing about this.
Oh, for
like
sure.
being infected.
No,
like,
everyone has it.
Like in New York, it's like imagine you pack a subway car full of people. They're all breathing on each other, and you do that for 2 months before you even start like worrying about it.
Yeah, India's like that too, man. It's just so packed that they have to like make people like they're making people do like squats and shit. Like if they catch
they're making you do like Pilates and flogging you in the street.
They're like flogging.
Yeah, they're beating people on mopeds.
Yeah.
Mid-ride.
The scary thing in India I saw is like they had like their first like in Delhi or whatever, like they had like a death at like a slum, but they're like they're like so packed. You're like, yeah, it's gonna be like a catastrophe.
It is, yeah. And America does feel like that. Like Canada feels like we're pretty on top of it. Maybe because we have like more government funding. I don't know, but it just seems like their numbers are going to go and hit those India levels per capita. Maybe.
Is your internet getting throttled there?
No.
No.
They're not throttling the internet.
Not that I know of. No. Our streams have been fine.
No, everybody I spoke to here is the internet's being throttled just because like the amount of people who are using it, I guess, is just.
Wow.
Yeah, no, we've been
That's
good.
so American. That's so America, dude.
In Canada, Netflix lowered the resolution on all their shit instead of so like.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
I'm on Crave. I'm doing Crave. I'm off Netflix. I'm full Crave now.
Yes, full Crave, dude. Me too. Yeah, me too. I'm writing a show for them. I got to get on.
I had to bite the bullet.
Bite the
Do you
bullet.
think, hey, Danny, I wanted to ask you, do you think China's fudging the numbers then? There's been a lot of reports coming out today.
Absolutely. Did you see the thing with the urns in Wuhan?
No, what's that?
So in Wuhan, they basically said that they had 2,500 deaths, but they cremate you if you die of coronavirus. You don't get a burial.
Right.
And
10,000 urns?
There was like 40,000 urns.
Oh my God.
40,000 urns?
I mean, it's literally, it's essentially like their Chernobyl, right? It's like they're a communist country. They had this outbreak. Then they lied about it because they don't want to admit that it happened because it makes them look bad. But then the more they lie about it, the worse it becomes overall because then nobody can do anything about it and it spreads all over the world.
Yeah, they're getting defensive. Like they were jailing like U.S. journalists too.
They literally,
they kicked them out of the country.
The one journalist or scientist or whatever just disappeared. And the one guy died and the other one just disappeared.
Dude, we have to go to war with them, right? Like the West has to go to war with China. That's the only option.
Whoa. Easy.
I mean, we're in a Cold War. It's not working.
No. It'll be like a.
Amish, I know you're pushing 40, but I'm gonna have to fight in that war. Okay? Tamp down on the rhetoric there.
I think they should do what the Brits did and just go feed them heroin
Drew,
or something.
First off, if you get drafted, it's going to be behind a computer in Canada, fucking trolling some forum in Chine. It's going to be a different kind of war. It's going to be a different kind of
social media front lines.
If they need a podcast for the war effort, for morale, I could do that.
Yeah, like a propaganda.
Good Morning Vietnam, but the podcast.
Propaganda podcast.
I have no qualms. Well, have you seen the thing with Russia too? Apparently. They haven't been reporting a lot of coronavirus infections.
Well,
but
now they're
pneumonia shot up in Russia.
Yeah. They're just switching it. And then in North Korea, it's like 0 because they just killed him.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That one guy had it.
North Korea had one guy maybe had it, yeah, but they just squash it over there. They don't give a shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of for the like they're all about the greater good, and at that point, if it's but again, it's North Korea. If there's just no possibility that if one person has it, that they're the only one that has it.
Basically, if you're
You're
rich
saying
and you
it was
get
someone. No, but I'm saying it was someone who was allowed to travel to China to get it.
Mhm.
So you're like, it's obviously someone who's like high up or something in North Korea. So they're like, they probably gave it to tons of other people.
maybe, yeah, I don't know.
You
How do
shake
you-
someone's hand and they touch their face and you got it.
That's it, eh? Wow, this is so
Yeah.
fun. So now do you?
I had it for sure.
You had
I
it?
think I might have had.
Oh.
I think I might have had. It.
I lost my 10 days ago, I was fucking on Twitter, and maybe like a week ago, I was on Twitter, and then Rudy Gobert, the center for Utah Jazz, who got it. He was the guy who they canceled the NBA for. He tested positive.
Did he go like?
Yeah,
He was like,
Like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
you
yeah,
guys
yeah,
corona?
yeah,
he got-
That, and
where
then he
tested
had
all
it.
the things, and then they canceled the NBA. I mean, again, so many players in the NBA.
They
have it.
would have
Were
canceled it.
you? Wait.
They
Danny,
canceled it a week
you,
early because of him.
Was it you who was
No.
at Golden Corral with him?
No, I wasn't going Corral with him.
Okay.
Who was at Golden Corral?
So there was some Toronto comic who saw him at Golden Corral. I forget who it was.
No, I don't know. Never
That's
even
so
been
funny.
to Golden Corral.
But Dan, you think you
anyway,
had
so-
it and you're over it?
Listen. No. So listen. So he posts. He goes, yeah, just so everybody knows, like, definitely one of the symptoms of it is losing your sense of smell and taste. And I
Right.
read this tweet at like probably like midnight or like 1 a.m. And the moment I read it, I was like, you know what? I think I've lost my sense of smell. And it's like, it took that long to register. But like, because I bought this mustard like 4 days previous and I ate it and I'm like, couldn't taste it at all. And I just was like, it's bad mustard. Like,
Yeah.
that's just like what I
French's?
thought. No, it was like actually like this, like pretty like good European one. So you think it would like not taste
So
like
it would go
nothing.
bad because the Frenches would never go bad.
Was
Not
it
only
like
that,
a
but it's
Dijon?
like-
It was a Dijon? What
Yeah,
are we
it's like a
talking-
Dijon.
It's a Dijon.
mustard, where
Yeah.
I literally like could not taste it at all. And then
I'm sorry, Danny. Just one more thing. Grain or no grain?
no grain, no grain.
Okay.
Yeah, man, this is the real tragedy. This high-end European
I
mustard.
need to know. I need to know.
This is the real,
But
this
anyway-
high-end shit.
So, but anyway, so then the moment I read that and I was like, oh, maybe like it all started coming together. I light a match, I put it under my nose, nothing, can't smell it.
Oh
Okay,
no!
I open a container of white vinegar, put it up to my nose, nothing. Like I
Yeah.
could not smell anything, and I'm
You
like,
drink
oh,
5
okay.
glasses of milk and just started ripping farts, and you're like,
I was actually.
you're like, nothing. You're like, I know this thing. That's the
Honestly-
final tester.
Honestly, you laugh, but like I definitely did that.
You dairy purged?
I
had a
literally
dairy
I mean,
purge?
sorry, not
No,
the dairy,
you just stuck your
not the
fingers
dairy.
up your butt, and you're like, okay, I definitely lost.
I have it.
That's
Just
the
have, like,
final test.
just a brown finger. I'm like, I got it.
So wait, you notice?
That's the test. The shit
Wait,
test
wait.
of Corona shit test.
Wait, Danny, what was the timeline? What was the timeline of you losing your smell? Was this around the same time you'd just gone to Trader Joe's and there was no eggs?
No, I left New York on the 14th of February, or March, sorry. I assume I had it when I left because I'm coming from like New York. And then
York is
I
Corona
got
Central.
here on the 14th. That smell thing probably happened on like the 28th.
Oh, okay. So
did
you were
the shit test on the 28th.
asymptomatic.
I mean,
That's on the
asymptomatic.
28th.
That was the ones, and I probably had it for 4 or 5 days where I couldn't smell.
Wow.
Do you feel like, can you smell again? Has your smell come back?
Honestly, let's find out. I got some matches here. I don't. I think it's. I think
Oh my
it's still
God.
not.
Have you been
good,
eating?
But better.
I am
Why did
so
you-
glad that Danny's going for the match test, not the poop test right now, live on the podcast. That would be so rude. That'd be so.
Yeah, I can smell. I can smell
You
that,
can
but I
smell?
couldn't.
He's
before I
back,
couldn't
baby.
smell- I couldn't
He's
smell it.
back. Beat it, Danny. Beat the Corona right here. You heard it here first, baby. That's that.
Live.
Yeah, but I also infected probably like 4,000 people. So.
Take that, Chris Cuomo.
Well, it's New York. It's Manhattan. What are you gonna do, man?
Oh, the amount of people I infected here. Ugh.
Jesus Christ.
Have you been?
I
Have
mean,
you
in
been having?
hindsight,
Have you been having people over? What? What do you do?
I mean, you don't even know if you have it. You're self-diagnosing and saying like, okay, I stuck my finger up my ass and I couldn't smell it, so I think I had it.
I'm telling
Hey,
you,
it's nothing official. Nobody say anything.
There's just no way that that's a coincidence that the first time in my life I've lost my sense of smell at the same time that people are reporting losing their sense of smell because of this virus. Like,
no, I just didn't want to get anyone to get mad at you for like spreading it on to like 10,000 more people. I was trying to save your ass, but it's fine.
No,
You're saying fuck it.
No, it's pretty on brand. It's pretty on brand for me to spread the virus around.
Oh, so your fans like that, Danny, is what you're saying. Your fans like that. Your fans want you
No, it wasn't intentional, but you know how I think I got it? So I was in probably like a week before I left, or maybe 10 days before I left, I was playing poker at this comic's house. It was like, and this is like, it's starting to pick up.
I know.
Say no more.
I partied too.
But we're playing poker, and he just goes, he's like, I've had this like cough, like this just dry cough. He's like, I feel fine, but I've had this dry cough. I'm like, you have it. What are you talking about?
Wow, you have it.
I'm like, you're not piecing this together?
You idiot. We're playing cards with you. You have it.
And I'm like, we're like you're handling all the cards and everything. So I was like, at that point, I was like, oh, I got it from there.
Yeah.
Minimum.
Well, do you want to say his name and let the whole culture know? He's probably like going. He probably went into court with some girl. He ended up getting sick.
He ended up getting sick. You know what's so funny is like he actually fucks like tons of chicks. He gave it to so many people probably.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he doesn't give a shit, eh? One of those guys.
It's not that he doesn't give a shit. I don't think he honestly. It was at the point where people were so naive where they're like, they were getting sick and not realizing it. You know how many people I've talked to who are like, yeah, I had this like flu like a week ago and
it's gone.
Yeah.
Like when I was here, literally I'm here, maybe the fifth day I'm here. I definitely brought it, which is really actually irresponsible because my parents were here and they're in their 70s. I'm sitting in my room. I hear both my parents coughing.
Oh my God, are they okay?
And then and then I walk out in the kitchen and my dad is literally talking to my mom and goes, hey, you notice we're like both coughing right now? And they were still literally, I'm not even kidding you, both our parents were like, yeah, but it's probably just because of the air conditioning. I'm like, you have it. You're so stupid.
Yeah, but at that point, why stress yourself? It's like
it's not about stress. Like I was talking to these girls and two of them were like, yeah, I had this flu, but like I don't know what it was about. I'm like, yeah, you had it.
But wait, Danny, why your parents are in Florida right now and they're in their 70s? Why aren't you repatriating them?
They already left. They left
okay, good. Because Ontario is the place to be right now if you're in your 70s.
Yeah, Ontario.
I feel Florida's not really doing it.
They were only supposed to be here until April.
It got really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. When they came here, there was no virus or anything. But anyways, they were supposed to be here until April 1st, and they left like 10 days early or something.
Wow.
They closed the beaches here. My parents left the next day.
Are you trying to get any of that government money? Are you looking to get some CERB? What are you thinking?
I don't know if I'm eligible for it. I mean, I guess I have to pay rent. The thing is, I have to pay rent twice this month, which kind of blows.
Ooh, double
twice
rent,
this
man.
month? You got two rents?
Florida one.
I have a rent in Florida.
Dude, these guys. That's why you guys moving to New York. I'm like, that's incredible, man. That looks like
so you saw coronavirus was coming and the money was going to be unstable, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to take on some more expenses. Why not?
Not even so much that as so my parents were So this is what happened. I came like a flight from New York to here was like $70 or something, and then my parents were here. So I'm like, I was just like, I brought 3 days worth of stuff with me.
Wow.
And I came. Yeah, I'm just the only thing. Yeah, I just brought 3. So, anyways, I came down here, and just because my parents had a place, they have extra room. So I was like, I'll just go down to Florida, and like I thought this was gonna be like all the stuff with the grocery stores was like this will be done with soon. I'll just kind of kick around Florida for like maybe 3 days, maybe 5 days or something. Come back.
Yeah, it'll blow.
And then now I'm like, oh, I like live here now.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what happened to me too. The first weekend, like right before it hit, I partied. And then 2 days later, I just saw Piers Morgan screaming on TV, like, why are you out dancing? Go home, you idiots. And I'm like, fuck, I guess we should have stayed home.
Watch Piers Morgan?
No, he just popped up on my YouTube.
No, that's where Mish takes all his marching orders from. It used to be Simon Cowell.
I just want Piers Morgan to like me. If Piers Morgan doesn't approve, what am I going to do, right? But a lot of people were like, that's so irresponsible.
This Zoom thing is pretty seamless.
The what?
It's pretty good, yeah.
It's like I don't even really notice any kind of latency compared to if I was in the same room with you.
Yeah.
Have you heard about the new thing with Zoom bombing?
Yeah, where people like it's like not encrypted or something, and people like show porn.
Apparently the FBI is like no, but apparently the FBI has like put out a memo of like beware of like having like sensitive information hacked or stolen because the Zooms aren't secure. Like
Oh,
anyone
shit.
can get them or
Oh,
something
you're
like
saying
that.
so, but like someone could just like watch the Zoom kind of thing.
Yeah,
Not,
yeah,
like-
you can get hacked really easily. Like someone could be hacking us right
So
now.
are they just hacking and watching our podcast?
And what,
Or are
they
they
just
hacking?
watch
If
it-
that's what they're doing, then I appreciate it. That's a lot of work to watch the podcast.
Hey, you
Like,
know
hey,
what?
if you're hacking to watch us, we posted at Facebook.
You gotta pay. I say you gotta pay for the premium content. You can't watch it live, okay? You gotta wait.
Yeah,
till we
live
make our
is premium
cuts.
content. Yeah,
Is
yeah.
there
no,
a paid Zoom? What are these only allowed to be 40 minutes or something?
They always
There
give
is
me
a paid
gift. They always
version.
say, hey, here's a gift. Whenever we're approaching like 30 minutes, they're like, here's a gift from Zoom. We're gonna let you go unlimited today.
How
Yeah,
much
they
do you
like
have to
Amish.
pay for 40 minutes or for over?
I don't know if you have to pay. They just told me last time we got off, they said if you schedule now, we'll give you like unlimited again. If you
Oh, okay.
reschedule. I don't know. They're just being like, I think they're just trying to throttle and they're just trying to maybe weed out people who are like, okay, you know,
Yeah,
if you don't need to go for over 40, don't do it. But then maybe they just let us do it every time.
Uh-huh.
What's up, Drew? You want to say something?
Well, no, I was just gonna say on the money thing because what do you think of this thing? And apparently in Quebec, the Red
How
Cross.
much money are they giving out in Canada? Have they said?
It's $2,000 every 2 months if you qualify for the CERB. But
Okay.
say you're already getting
$2,000 every 2 months?
Sorry, every month. Sorry, every month for 4 months.
Okay. I was gonna say that's like not.
Yeah. And then you're saying, Drew, that they have a Red Cross, like someone's getting money for Red Cross in Quebec too?
Well, in Quebec, I talked to my friends in Quebec today who said they just filled out a form and the Red Cross like sent them $1,000 instantly. Just gave you $1,000. Boom.
Wow. That's fun. Danny, how do you feel about that?
I mean, I don't know how long this is gonna last. Like, it's there's something about you can't just like turn off the economy indefinitely and then just restart it. Like,
Yeah, it's going to be itchy.
there's so much, but there's like so much demand that just like will never return.
Yeah. So are
I mean,
you
I bought
Danny?
headphone splitters from Long and McQuaid today. I did my part.
Nice.
Yeah. Supporting local business.
Like,
supporting our boys'
I
business.
read today that this week last year, box office revenues for movie theaters were $201 million in the United States. For the same
Oh
week
my
this year,
God.
$5,000.
Whoa, $5,000 worth of movies? Who went? Who went?
One holdout theater apparently. That's the
Where?
only
You
explanation.
think it's a Christian movie? You think it's like some kind of like?
Probably that makes sense actually. That it is probably.
There's
But
mosques
one-
in India that are like, let's get together because God is
Florida,
great.
there's a bunch of churches here. They have to arrest the pastor.
Yeah. Some God is great people are like, fuck it, God is great.
Yeah.
They wanna-
The guy who actually I get weed from here
Yeah.
is he's like a weird kind of like hip hop dude, but he's like an Orthodox Jew. But he's
Whoa.
like-
know
he's like. So last time I was here, I've only been to Miami twice in my life. Okay?
From the synagogue. They're both Jewish.
All in the past 2 months. Last time I was here, I went and played poker at a casino here. And
Yeah.
then I just like I played poker with this dude and he's like, you want to come back to my place and smoke weed? And then he had like literally photos of rabbis like in his kitchen of like famous rabbis. Like, he's
Wow,
like,
dude.
but if you saw him, he wears like
Anyone
a
we would
shirt.
know? Anyone we would know?
Nobody I even know.
Dude, my cousin came back from the Vatican and he brought a sexy priest calendar. And it was actually hot. Like it was like a hot young priest and they did a 12-month calendar with him.
Oh.
Hey man, if you're in it,
Wow.
When I went, I just got a sexy kid calendar.
quick, Danny. So Danny,
They tend to sell out. They tend to sell out of those, I think. Your cousin was probably
Yeah.
they're usually sold out. So Danny, I've been watching. So are you worried, Danny? Are you worried about the government getting too involved? Are you worried that this corona might just be a backdoor to communism, Danny? Are you
Oh
worried?
shit! Oh shit! I mean, should you put him in the hot
No.
seat? Are you putting him in
Put
the
you in the
hot
hot
seat,
seat,
Amish?
Danny. I'm putting you in the hot seat, Danny.
I don't think it's a backdoor to communism. I do think that there will be some fucking shit going down with the China stuff, though.
With the what
A
stuff?
lot of Toronto
I mean,
comedians think this is a
basically-
backdoor to communism. There's a lot of
Yeah,
Toronto
well,
comedians
guess
on Instagram.
there's a lot of Toronto comedians are fucking stupid. So, what do you mean it's communism? It's like this is such an unprecedented thing.
Yeah.
The thing is like I was talking to my buddy today, and I was like, because I watch like I don't have cable in New York, but here there is cable, so I watch news like nonstop.
Yeah.
What channel do you like? Do you like?
I
watching
watch
Fox
CNN
News? Are you watching
I
Fox
watch
News?
CNN.
Hot
I
seat.
watch
this is basically my makeup. Is it's 80% CNN, 10% Fox News, 10% MSNBC.
MSNBC. Who do you like on MSNBC? Who's your guy? Ari?
Nobody.
Ari Melber?
You're not listening to The
No.
Hill? Sagar and Chetty? On The Hill?
Oh yeah,
like
Crystal
The Hill?
Ball. We fuck with Crystal Ball.
We fuck with Crystal Ball, dude.
I watch
TV.
CNN a lot.
The new
That's
left
the main
shit,
one.
Danny, is this show called The Hill. They're coming in hard left, big Bernie supporters.
On what channel? PBS?
It's on YouTube only, but it's like it looks tight.
Oh, it's
it
on
looks like a real
YouTube.
studio.
Yeah.
No,
It's called The
it's
Hill.
The Hill. The Hill. They're like an online media company. They have like
They're
the
more
website.
left. Oh yeah, I know The Hill. I know them on Twitter.
They're
with
Vox-ish, but this
Crystal
guy's Sagar
Ball,
and
Crystal
Chetty.
Ball, and Sagar and Chetty. Yeah.
Yeah, they're killing it.
I
But
don't
Danny,
know
I've been
either of those
watching.
people.
I've been watching a lot of your Instagram actually, and you know I find that when and pardon me for the hot seat here, but I watch a lot of your Instagram, and I feel like when you bring up Bernie Sanders, you're kind of like a little dismissive, maybe a little unfair. But then sometimes you bring up Trump, and there's a little twinkle in your eye. Are you a Trump supporter, Danny? Are you a Trump supporter? What's going on?
You don't watch my Instagram stories.
I did. I saw one post where you were talking about. I think you were talking about how dumb Joe Biden looks, and
No,
you're like, Trump's gonna win.
He keeps fucking being insane.
He
Joe
is-
Biden.
Yeah.
Honestly, basically Trump, if he just like kind of gets out of this whole scenario. First off, if he
How does he
If
get
he-
out of it?
if-
How does
if
he
he-
get out of it?
Yeah,
Okay.
you are
If-
predicting that Trump's going to win, and you seem excited, Danny. So let's I'll
First
let you
off,
finish.
I thought he was going to win before all this shit happened. This is kind of a
Right.
game changer for sure. And he was going to win before all this shit happened.
He said something really nice the other day. He said
There's no
he's like,
question of it.
I'm going to let the people on the ship in Florida in for humanity. He said humanity, and I was in the car with my sister, and she just started laughing. Like, it won't even
He's
even when
very
he said,
funny. He is very funny. I will
He
say
is
this though.
hilarious.
is he saying it with like a smirk on his face? Like,
He's
you know, for
funnier than-
humanity.
He's literally
Danny,
funnier than 50% of all comedians.
Danny, I hate to give Amish too much credence here, but you did a very Trump move in repatriating yourself from, well, not repatriating, but moving from New York State to Florida.
I know.
That's a very Trump move.
Yeah.
Very Trumpian.
Very Trumpian of you.
Yeah, but you think he's
Oh,
going to win?
wait, so you think he has it in the bag or no?
Okay, well, no. Hell no. He's basically what he's attempting right now with this whole pausing the entire country and then like cutting everybody checks and then hoping that those checks are like just going to bridge the gap and then they're just going to start back up magically in 3 weeks. Like if that doesn't go well, we're literally going to enter a depression, at which point, no, he's not going to be the winner in the election. I would be shocked if there's fucking 30% unemployment and
Yeah,
he gets
but
reelected.
Biden?
But if he pulls this off, he will probably go down as one of the greatest presidents in American history,
If
which
he
is
pulls this off.
insane. If he
Well,
if he pulls this off for real, it'll be like, I'm telling you, like it'll be
Have you
a
seen
fucking. I wouldn't bet on it. Like,
Have you seen his
I'll tell you, I'm
documentary?
not-
Like you're saying pulling this off, but when you watch his Netflix documentary, it's so good, and it's like he's just pulling off scams his whole life. It's just every episode is
but
like
this isn't a scam because you're talking about
being
like people
president,
losing their actual jobs though.
Well, no, this is the
isn't
thing.
a scam.
No, I just think becoming president in general is like he almost did it as like, yeah, I can
No,
win.
I'm talking about dealing with a specific crisis. I'm not talking
Dealing
about
with this
him being the
coronavirus
president.
Well, no, but this is
I'm
my
saying
thing
if-
though. You can't bullshit your way through an infectious disease pandemic. You know what I mean?
No.
He can
I'm saying
bullshit
you
his
can't-
way through almost anything else. But this is
Yeah.
one thing
That-
that
exactly.
you can't really do. It.
Like this, the results will be very real. Either everybody's going to be like back to their normal lives in a month, and it'll be like, hey, remember that thing, or people are going to be like fucking losing their homes at like record pace, and then people
No
are
one's
gonna
saying
be
a
like,
month. Trudeau just said the other day that we're not going back to normal till at least Canada Day, which might be a ploy on his part. Maybe he wants to have a big old party
Yeah.
on Canada Day.
Maybe he
But-
just wants to. Maybe he's extending it by a couple
He
of weeks.
couldn't. He couldn't
It
make it
can't be
happen
that
with the.
much for Canada.
He couldn't. He couldn't make it happen with the weed. He couldn't make it happen with the weed, so he's gonna make it happen with coronavirus.
We're gonna find out. Like we could have restarted our economy 2 weeks earlier, but Trudeau's like, but that party's gonna be dope, right?
Yeah. You can-
Make them
What,
wait.
we're gonna
Hold it.
start it back up on June 15th. That'd be insane.
Just wait, and we'll do Canada Day. Dude, Canada's gonna be so hyped if we get out. If we get out, I think people are gonna get pregnant. Like Love's gonna make a comeback, maybe.
Dude, it's gonna be real. I said this on my podcast, but I was like, remember, like at the end of like World War II, you know, there was like New York City, and it's like guys are like kissing chicks in the street and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's what it's gonna be like.
it's gonna be back to the
I think
It's gonna be like the end of
boy!
old.
No, I think people are gonna be a little bit cagey because we're just coming out of it like a pandemic.
Well, that's a yeah.
No,
well,
but people are
that's
going to
the
be so
thing
horny
is-
though by then. They're already dude. It's been 2 weeks, and just how many girls are like, I'm so lonely and horny right now.
Oh yeah.
Guys too.
But yeah, guys, I was gonna say.
I love how you
yeah.
put the guys too at the end. Like that's the surprising one.
No, the
Guys too.
I'm saying the guys.
don't
Obviously, you're
wanna-
saying it, but girls are
I
just
don't
coming out like, I'm fucking horny right now. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of them are doing jokes on it. It's great.
Jokes
I-
where?
All the girls
Like
I'm
on
seeing are
Twitter.
just saying they
Are
want to hug. They want to hug their friends. That's all.
They
I'm
want to
seeing.
hug. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
What
And
accounts are you
ca-
on?
You can't hug your friends.
No. But Amisha's saying is like
No.
you're seeing everyone's trying to like get it on. I'm just seeing.
Are
People
you
saying,
guys
"I
gonna
wanna
wear
hug my
masks?
friends."
Are you gonna be masked people? in public?
No, I'm not doing it.
I wore a mask. I had to go buy groceries the other day, and I got some masks. I had a mask.
Yeah,
and
maybe I
gloves,
should start.
and
I
the
don't know.
Nitro.
Nitro. Okay.
See, I already.
I,
Yeah. See, I already
Here's
think
one
I beat
thing.
it.
I think I might have had it and beat it, but I'm trying to hedge my bets here. But I
Yeah.
also am worried about Trump's reelection chances by the fact that his supporters are sending death threats to Fauci. His what's the
Yeah, 'cause
medical
his
guy.
supporters are fucking lunatics.
right.
I
Right.
know, but
Yeah,
the optics on that, people
So
like
you're
Fauci.
not one, Danny. By the way, you're not one because we did ask that question. Are you or
I'm
not? Are you
no.
saying you're not? Because there
I
is
vote-
sometimes a little twinkle in
It
your
is-
eye, Danny.
It is interesting. You
You're
decided
right
to
on
move to
Bernie like it's
America.
garbage.
It's
I
Obama
like
was in
Bernie
office.
Sanders. I'm on.
Obama was
Oh,
in
really?
office for 8 years. You didn't make any move, and yet as soon as Donaldo gets in there, you're like, I gotta go.
I gotta go. He's like,
I'm
my
literally
kind of
on
place.
record.
Yep.
I'm on record as saying that Bernie Sanders is the only guy who can beat Donald Trump.
Yeah,
I
true.
tend to agree.
Okay, cool. Yeah, maybe I.
That's not gonna
Amisha's
happen.
convinced.
It's not gonna happen
Ami-
now, but
I
Amisha's
thought you'd be
convinced
afraid.
that,
I thought you'd be afraid of the communism with him. Maybe. I thought you might have like a little bit of like Bernie's too much.
I just want to see the first Jewish president, so I'll just be like, 'cause that would be
Whoa!
so
So that Trump.
Hey,
your
hey,
other
Danny,
fears.
can I say who doesn't?
Yeah.
Right? Who doesn't want to see?
Who doesn't?
I
Right?
think you speak,
I mean,
think you speak
they've
for
been
almost
running it
everybody
behind the
with that.
scenes. They run it behind the scenes. Show your face and run it. Show your face and run it. That's what I've been saying. I've been saying that for 10 years, 15 years.
Dude, imagine the fucking economy goes bad and you're the Jewish president.
That's impossible.
It's very possible.
No, he's gonna give a real stimulus. He's not into austerity. He's not into austerity. He's
No,
He
no.
would, if he was president right now, he would be like $1 million for every person,
Bernie
That'd
Sanders?
be Tim.
and every corporation goes under.
Yeah, his attitude would be like,
He
give the
said-
money to people, not to a corporation, which I like in the
But
sense.
again, the corporations are getting the money so that they don't fire all their employees.
Yeah, so
I
just
mean-
give the money to
I
the
mean,
employees
well-
because they
well,
don't end
hold
up
on.
giving their employees the money. They always just end up taking it for themselves, like these
They
CEOs.
have,
don't
but
know.
no, but they passed a bunch of restrictions in the
No.
new one so that you can't do a bunch of stock buybacks and you have to have.
Yeah.
No, but not only that,
Some
dude.
sort of-
It doesn't sound like you actually know much about that. The fucking U.S.
Oh,
stimulus
Tell us.
with that. But dude, the way they did this
Who are you
is they
talking,
basically
Amish or me?
said, Amish. I'm sure you know all about it.
Here comes right-wing Danny Polishchuk. Let's hear your views.
I'm just saying what they're doing. They basically said that if you run a small business over $100,000 in revenue. Now again, who knows if they can pull this off? But
Right.
they basically said that if you make over 100 grand in revenue, which is like pretty small business, that as long as you don't lay off your employees, they will pay all of them. They will basically give you a loan that you can use to pay all your employees while they wait this out. And as long as at the end of this whole thing, if you haven't fired them, you don't have to pay back that money to the government.
Wow, that's a good deal.
The Trudeau's trying to do
Again-
something like that. Here, I heard it's going to be finalized by the end of this week. 75% of
again,
wages.
If you pull it off, I think you like. I was reading this economist who was saying basically like he's like this is going to cause like because there hasn't really been any inflation. Like inflation's pretty moderate, but that could be a real side effect of this. is, like,
Inflator.
massive inflation.
Yeah. Wow.
But I think part of the reason why there hasn't been a lot of inflation is because oil's so low right now, too, right?
Well, that's like a huge tax cut basically, but also in Canada that's bad because like 10% of people in Canada like work in oil.
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
quarter of our economy, I think, or a fifth of our
Did you
economy.
see? No, it's less than that. But did you see? What was it? Like a barrel of like Western Canadian crude was selling for like $4.
Yeah, and China's buying a bunch of it.
For like 60 liters or something, or 60 gallons.
Well, I
It's
heard that
super cheap.
they're just getting like warehouse space now. They can't sell it, so they're just getting like
Yeah, they
like,
just have to,
trying
like-
to sit on it. They're trying to sit on
Yeah,
it as long
yeah.
as they
Yeah,
can.
yeah. And China's
the
jacking up their reserves. Like they're buying this cheap oil to like get.
Well, no, this is really low quality oil. It's not like, because it has to go to a refiner. Basically, like this is just like super shitty oil. That's why it's so
Crude.
cheap. And then
It's very crude. It's that fracking garbage.
it's no. The fracking is just a process. It's just like sour crude. It's just like it requires a lot of refinement. The stuff that they have in the Middle East is like very easily refined. It's not a huge process.
Number one, Middle East. Number one. Fucking number one. Not Canada. Not even wearing Gucci. Fucking poor people.
How do your friends in the
Number one.
States? How do your friends in the States feel about like the healthcare prospects with COVID?
You know what? I don't
what are people
know.
saying?
I like this one comic, Justin Silver in New York. He got it. He was pretty sick. He was like, and he's like,
Really?
I don't know, 44. He's like really good shape.
Fuck.
He got it and he was like basically really sick for like a week. I don't know. I didn't talk to him about if he went to the hospital, but I do know it's weird. Yeah, it's like here you have to pay for the test. It's like if you want to go get one, like they make you pay for it.
I thought they were trying to make it
I'm like,
free.
they are, but like initially they're like,
Yeah.
we didn't even have that many tests, but even still they were like, they had to be paid for it. And then again, it's like it took like, weeks to get a result.
No, America's being very slow about it. And I think this is going to show a lot of like how shitty the healthcare system is, and
No, the healthcare system is like the actual hospitals are like world class. It's not like once you're inside the hospital. It's more like the system of getting healthcare, but the actual healthcare is really good.
Well, it's the access. The access is the issue.
Yeah.
But
No, they're the best for rich people.
I don't think they can't be turning people down. Like if you show up and you're like need a fucking ventilator, like nobody's going to be turned down. I guess you just get a bill for it. But then the question is, like, how are they billing you? Like they need to basically waive that and then go sue China to get that fucking money back.
Well, here's the thing that I'm concerned about in the States, especially, is you have such a large population that's undocumented that is probably going to be afraid to go to a hospital, to put themselves out there even to get help. So,
not to mention that lots of
and
people
they have
who,
to work also. A bunch of people are very precarious and they'll have to work.
Yeah, like the amount of people who they work under the table, so then they're not eligible for any of these benefits, or they might not be American.
Yeah.
Someone brought up they still they pay rent every month and they live in the US. They just don't have like a legit job or whatever. But anyways, those people are going to be super fucked.
How do you feel about rent freezes? Are you hoping you're getting a rent freeze in New York? I think that was on the table.
I would love a rent freeze. I don't really understand how it works because you're basically just deciding that you're like, oh, we're just going to steal from this group to pay this group. They have to somehow make it fair for everybody.
But if you cancel mortgage payments then you institute a rent freeze.
Amish, you own a condo. Are you charging rent this month?
Yeah, I got my rent this month. I was very worried about it on the first. I was so scared. I woke up on the first and I just said I was just like, whoo! I don't know what I'm going to do.
Wait, hold on.
But basically in Canada, we have a system where we got to pay the money back. So here, if I get, well, here comes your right wing, your Trump supporting views, your Danny White. Destroy the economy? How about the people need to live?
Okay, hold up. Can I follow up?
I'm a
on that
Patel.
question,
We
though?
invented it. Yeah. But,
Amish, hold up. Let me follow up on that question because Amish, you may own a condo, but you also rent an apartment.
Yeah.
Did you pay your rent?
I paid my rent.
Okay.
I paid it right away, and we haven't even asked about that.
Again, if you can't pay your rent, like if you literally you're like, I can't pay it, then there's at least a case to be made, like where you can, maybe like work it out with your thing. And then again, the government can figure out a way where if they have to provide some sort of benefit to a landlord. Because if you have a mortgage, right? But imagine someone just like owns a property. You can't just be like, fuck you. If you
cancel the mortgage payments,
they're doing the mortgage.
But what if you don't have a mortgage?
On the mortgage.
No, but what if you don't have a mortgage?
Then take a hit, man. Come on, for the country.
Take the hit.
I don't know. That's commie. Is that too communist?
You got to do it for your nation. You got to do it for your nation.
No, if anything, the nation could be like, look, just pay us fucking. It's fine. Just like you're gonna pay them, pay us.
I bet you that there's gonna be a whole bunch of tax rebates and all this shit that they'll give people after.
Well, okay. But the mortgage one, Danny, if I take the mortgage thing, I have to pay it back. And
what about
this? Pay me back. Like it's all.
What if you have an apartment that's $8,000 a month in New York City? You think the fucking like government should pay the rent on that?
No, they're saying
I mean,
defer the mortgage payments, and then after you have to pay it back. Like when the economy comes back, I think you have to pay it back. That's all they're doing in Canada. I don't think
for what, the rent forgiveness?
they do a 2-month rent forgiveness, mortgage forgiveness, and then you pass it on as a rent forgiveness, and then you have to pay back. It's like interest. It's like an interest.
Do you think?
Oh, okay. So it's a loan. They're not.
It's essentially a loan. That's all I can get. Like so far, I've looked into it because
the landlord is going to get their money. Just it's going to be.
You get a deferral as a landlord. You get like you don't have to pay your mortgage payment right away, and then you can pass it on to your tenant. But then once this is all over, I think you just got to pay it back. It's an interest-free kind of loan.
But does the tenants have to pay it?
The tenants have to pay it back too. Yeah, you have to just work it out with the tenants to be like, okay, after this is done.
No. But I'm saying if you're a tenant, like, are you gonna? Yeah, like you still like are obligated to pay that rent. It's just
you got to pay it.
Yeah, that's gonna be a nightmare to deal with.
It is a nightmare. We got to figure it out. It's gonna be complicated, but
that's a tough one because you can't just decide that landlords get fucked. Like,
no, because what are they gonna? It's like someone's gonna have to pay it at some point.
But here's my question, though.
The fact is, if you owned your condo outright, you wouldn't be like just cool with not getting your rent.
No, you have to make some expenses though. You have to pay for your you still get.
I mean,
a condo
you
fee.
have condo. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is that even if you owned a thing outright, so you didn't have a mortgage,
yeah.
so you couldn't get mortgage relief, you wouldn't be like fine not getting rent.
No, I'd be pissed. I'd be like, what the fuck? And then I'd apply for some tax credit from the government, and I'd be like, give me the fucking money, government. This is your problem. We are a collective,
yeah, I mean, it's still unfolding, right? Who knows?
It's still unfolding. Who knows?
Who's going to be the winners and the losers?
This is why I do think this could be a backdoor to communism, because we're forced to ask these questions and really explore this. Because we are going to start at some point. We are just going to hit a wall where we go, okay, there's like maybe this thing just doesn't.
Why do you think communism though? This is
not literally communism, but I think
not going to be communism, but maybe we're going to subsidize more things.
What about Yang Gang? People are talking about Yang Gang's getting his views in, or Bernie Sanders, more socialized, I'd say.
Yang is dropped out of the.
He's dropped out, but people are saying Trump went Yang Gang. Trump's going Yang. Trump's thinking about Yang Gang policies.
In what way?
Does that hurt your feelings?
Stimulus checks? With the stimulus.
Does that hurt your feelings, Mr. Capitalism? Huh? Does that hurt your feelings?
The stimulus checks is like literally the only thing that's keeping people from looting and shit right now. You understand? Like I don't know.
Yang
like in Toronto,
it's a Yang Gang anti-looter.
Lots of businesses are boarding up right now.
Yeah.
So
like
they boarded up the whole Eaton Center. They boarded up the whole Eaton Center.
Okay. So again, like they're doing that because they're worried that someone was like, there's a chance that people will be looting.
Yeah.
So they're like, lock that up. So like someone's model has like this going really badly and just like nothing works. And then people are basically like looting the Eaton Center.
Yeah. So at some point it becomes cheaper to just give people money. No?
But again, like what happens if this is like last 6 months and they're like, what? So we're like, and again, like, dude, the money that they're giving $1,200 to people in the US, like how much rent is in New York?
No,
like,
of course. It's not enough for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But do you think there's a lot of people in New York paying $8,000 a month for rent that are living hand to mouth?
Well, there's probably there would be like, I know people for sure who are like, in an 3 people maybe, or 4 people in one, and yeah, they might be like, man, bartenders and stuff make $2,000 a week.
Wow. Yeah, they're fucked.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So it's like if you're like a server in a nice restaurant or like a bartender, yeah, you could legitimately have like a $2,500 or $3,000 rent obligation that you're not going to be able to pay, and $1,200 is not going to do anything for you.
Yeah. So then what do you think then? Are you saying leave them hanging then? Because again, we are just going to get to that question of who's going to pay for it. Someone's going to have to pay for it. Literally, they can't work.
The government, I mean, China should pay for it, but
I think we should attack them personally. That's what the British did.
Is that they're still building, is like Trump's still building the wall. Like he has just been so low key, like through all of this, he's just like that. He's like, he prefers people don't even like talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
Like it's not like he doesn't mention it ever because it's just like getting built. And
it is a time to pull off. You can pull off some low key like Islamophobia right now, some low key like some fucked up projects like that. You can get them in while Corona's happening. They're doing that in India.
Why is that Islamophobic?
I don't know if it's Islamophobic. It's more just like something that's.
No, he's just saying if you so chose to be a little Islamophobic right now, go for it. That's what he's saying.
No, and this move by Trump isn't specifically Islamophobic, but it is like that kind of this border wall that like nobody agrees with and people think is stupid, it's like, okay, just get that shit done low key while nobody's looking, kind of thing. So it is a good time
and by nobody agrees with you mean at least 50% of the country does.
Well, 50% of the. So Danny, you're a pro Waller. Are you a pro Waller and a pro Trump?
No. I mean, first off, I'm not pro. I'm not pro either of those things.
Okay.
I love that you say nobody supports it. I bring up the fact that
50% are saying. Yeah. Oh, really?
More.
Okay. But I think it is a contentious issue that, like, even if he's got 50%, the other 50% are like mad and loud about it. And I feel like Corona is the time to be like, okay, like just throw a bunch of money at that and make it happen. You know?
No, he's not throwing more money at it. Like, it's just like they've been working on it. For
it's just moving forward and nobody's stopping him.
But it's like, he brought it up the other day because he's like, well, it's kind of, it's weird. He has all these things that this has essentially like solidified so many things for him. Because he's like, look, I don't want people sneaking into the country. Now there's like this pandemic where people could like spreading it. So he's like, see, it's a good idea. We have a wall because then people can't get us sick. And then forever he's like, we need to bring all these factories back from China. And then this fucking thing exposes the entire like supply chain and that they're so reliant on China. So now he's like, see,
yeah, but okay, but
He's not on the pro-Trump theories, but go ahead.
Well, hold on.
Just kidding.
It is, yeah, but hold on. I'll push back on those a little bit because one, okay, he says that let's build a wall with Mexico, and now it's people can't get in from Mexico. But it's all these Republican governors who are fucking late to the game to put any procedures in place to make sure that the shit gets tamped down in their own states. So
what do you mean? No, I'm saying.
I mean, if you're talking about like preventing the spread of the virus, they're not doing anything. No, it's like a false equivalent.
No, but you're saying the wall is a sign to the public that like, hey, we're doing something about the virus.
Like when he goes to like run for re-election, he's gonna be like, look, like I wanted a wall, and like, look, see the wall, like it's keeping people who might be sick out of the country. And then he's like, how I wanted to bring all these jobs back from China and like all this stuff. And then he's going to be like, look, see, he's like, we could have really used factories here. He has to use the fucking Defense Production Act just to get these companies to make ventilators and all that PPE shit because they're just like all made in China.
Yeah. So this could end up being a big
right. But I mean, he was reluctant to put the Defense Production Act in place. First of all, he had his whole press conference with all the CEOs in the fucking Rose Garden. First of all, and then he finally acquiesced when he realized that there was no other option. There was no other way to get it done.
But that proves his point that the whole thing of relying on China is a problem.
Yeah, it's
what I'm saying. It's like these have been his like things that he's been saying, and then this specifically made it true. Also, what's fucked up is how there was all those protests in Hong Kong, and they couldn't get people out of the street at all, and then all of a sudden there's this virus, and they're welding them in their homes.
Mm-hmm.
They're welding them in.
They were welding them in Wuhan. They were welding them in Wuhan. Yeah.
But I'm saying you're not allowed to leave your house.
That's hard. That's a hard quarantine. I didn't know people were getting welded in.
Oh yeah, in Wuhan they were welding them in
Guys,
their homes.
can I bring us to a little bit of a lighter?
Can they get food? Can they get food though? How do they get food?
That's it. Amish, welded inside.
Sack of rice each.
Yeah.
Welded inside. How do you think that ends?
Welded inside. Yeah, I guess you just
You're sick. You're sick, and they've welded you inside.
So I'm just wondering, is this a kill move or is this a don't come out move?
That's a kill.
It's a stay inside move.
It's a stay inside. The Chinese government say, hey, we didn't kill them. We just said, don't come out. And then they just ended up starving.
We've got an urn with your name on it.
And what happened? Hold on, Amish. Okay.
Tell me.
We have a fan actually in Jacksonville, Florida. So it's kind of apropos that you're down there right now.
Oh, okay.
And she wrote some fan fiction about the show. She wrote a short story. It's not that long. It takes about 2 minutes to read. And it's
about me, Danny.
Amish.
What a big year. Two screenwriting awards and now this letter from a sweetie darling in Jacksonville.
This is
coming
from
up in the game. Let's hear it.
It's from April in Florida. I want to read this to you. It's called Spring Awakening in the Great White North.
Wow.
Here we go. As a recently divorced mother of 3 young boys, I often rely on television to entertain my boys more than I should. I try to limit their viewing to educational programs, one in particular, Dino Dana. Often my youngest child, Andrew, will request that I join him while he watches Dino Dana. It wasn't until I had the amazing sex dream about him that I found myself lusting after the actor that played the dad.
Okay.
Was it the way his...
I haven't heard this yet.
Hold on.
You get this? I just saw the text come up.
Hold on.
Funny.
Hold on. Was it the way his character showed enthusiasm for his children, one of whom was a stepchild? My ex barely made time for our children, even when we were married. Was it my desire for something other than? Was it my desire for something different after a long and sex-deprived marriage to a rather plain white man? For 10 years, our sex life always lasted for 3 minutes, always in the dark, always with his black socks still on and never really hitting the right spot.
Whoa,
I dare
ripping
not
and
speak
dipping.
of my desire to bed this man to anyone in my MAGA moms group here in Jacksonville. But why do I feel myself more and more attracted to this man who lives all the way in Canada? And after viewing a few of his YouTube rants, it's clearly not in sync with my political views. A man whose words repulsed me. Hold on. A man whose words repulsed me, but still I couldn't stop listening to. As a longtime yogi, I've always had a secret desire to unleash my wild side with an Indian man and explore the Kama Sutra at its most authentic.
Wait,
At
she's
its
a
most
MAGA
authentic.
yogi? She's a MAGA yogi?
She's a MAGA
Yeah.
supporter, but she's a MAGA, but she's yogi too.
She's a MAGA yogi.
Yeah.
She's a modern Jacksonville MILF.
Yeah.
After a month of listening to his podcast, my womanhood quivering with every ill-informed tangent he went on, I could no longer keep
Ill-informed. But I'm still taking it. It's a big compliment. But go on.
I could no longer keep this in the fantasy realm. I had to meet him in person. After checking his Instagram, I discovered that he performed at a small comedy club in Toronto every Saturday night. My ex had already planned to take our children to his parents for the spring break vacation, so I decided that this would be the perfect time for a spring awakening of my own in the Great White North. I booked my tickets online from Jacksonville to Toronto, making sure to pick a hotel close to the club that he would be performing at, so as not to delay our lovemaking once I seduced him after his set. I chose to wear a form-fitting dress that showed off my tight yogi body with a neckline that showed my amazing cleavage.
Red hair, by the way. Redhead. But go on.
You can tell? Okay.
No, I saw the picture. No.
No, this is fiction. This is not about her. This is fiction.
Oh, it's not about the person who wrote it, but this is a fiction. Okay, but go on. Yeah, go ahead.
Wait, you thought this was real life?
No, I got carried away. Sorry, guys. I got carried away in the fantasy. I got carried away falling I'm in love with a mega. It's like that song.
Hold on. Okay.
Oh, boy. That was good.
Okay, underneath to show my support for America's greatest president, I was wearing my bright red MAGA thong that accentuated my petite but toned backside. When I arrived to the show early, he was already there talking to a fit Hispanic-looking man with a mustache. I think she means me. As soon as he was alone, I walked past him, purposely bumping into him and dropping my purse within reach. We both bent over to retrieve it, locking eyes as I slowly came up as if I were transitioning from forward fold to halfway fold and then to mountain pose.
Ooh,
So some good yoga.
that's some good yoga
imagery right there.
Imagery, interlacing.
Yeah, he handed me my purse. I thanked and introduced myself as his #1 American fan. He thanked me for coming to his set, but had to excuse himself as he was about to go on stage in a few minutes. After giving me a quick glance up and down, while biting his lower lip, he invited me to join him backstage after his set.
Woo!
This kind of sounds like
By the way, backstage at the corner, which is just outside of the street.
in the bathroom at the corner.
Just outside on the street.
It's that back bench, isn't it?
Right by the dumpster.
Sorry. He went on stage, and much to my previous disgust, I found myself enjoying and even, heaven forbid, laughing at his jokes.
Oh my God, I was so worried that I was going to bomb, but go on.
Yeah. He approached me after a set. That was all of our concern here. He approached me after his set and escorted me to a small room backstage. There was a camera in a corner. But he assured me it was turned off.
Hey, this girl knows about my life, but go on. She did her research, dude. I've had to do that, but go on.
Hold on. We sat down on an old couch, but not close together. After a few minutes of small talk, it became clear that I was going to have to take charge if anything were to happen.
Whoa!
Pussy in this story? Wow.
Yeah, dude.
She means
She's
you were a
cucking me.
pussy.
She's cucking me. It's fell in love with a cuck is the story, but go on.
I asked him if anyone would be joining us, and he assured me that he planned for his friend to watch the door to ensure our privacy. Then it ends with a coda. The rest I'll leave to your imagination, but my guess it involves you ripping that MAGA thong off with your teeth.
Woo!
And that was by April. So that was the first piece of fan fiction based on the podcast that we've
dude,
seen.
It doesn't really seem based on the podcast. It seems based on just a niche.
Well,
No.
Does she actually know, or does she not actually know you from Dino Dana?
No. She referenced an early podcast where Drew was asking if I would sleep with a Trump supporter.
like
like,
it's all
would I-
love and mouth.
Yeah.
Like, cause
Yeah,
I
of
could see
course.
Amish.
Wait. You think Amish would have a moral issue sleeping with a woman who supported Donald Trump? Are you out of your fucking mind?
Hey,
Is she
hey.
No,
white?
no.
Is
I
she
brought
white?
Danny Polishchuk on the podcast, so I'm not going
Amish,
to bring you right there. I was willing to bring
Is she-
Danny on, and he's on the edge.
Amish, is she white?
The Trump supporter? You never know. There's brown ones.
Yeah, no. The way I imagine it, she's
Danny's
kind
like-
of like.
Danny's like, if she's white, it doesn't matter if she's homeless. I mean, she'll hit it.
No, in
Hey.
my imagination, she's the kind of woman you see in like a homemade. She's the kind of woman you see in like
Where
a
did
homemade.
you see me with a 6? But go on.
She's the kind of woman you see in a homemade Florida porno. You know what I mean? You ever watch like
Yeah.
a homemade Florida porno?
No, she's right.
I imagine this is the kind of woman who's a Trump supporter that's also kind of into Amish at the same time.
Look,
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
you guys are Danny's making it sound like some kind of a white fetish, but really, like, have you seen these conservative girls? They're smoke shows. They're all hot. Tommy Lauren, hot, dude. You don't have to be left or
She's
right.
white. She's white. She's white. Why
But
do you
it's
say
not about
Candace
white.
Owens?
It's not about left or right. It's just about they're
Why-
hot,
why
and they
do you
got
say
that
Candace
fire.
I'm
Owens?
just saying,
They got that fire. That
Amish
conservative
will
fire.
100% fuck a chick. If she's hot, you do not care what her political leanings are.
Because you know what? We're all children of the
Wow.
Most High God, and this is a gift from God, and I will deliver on it. If someone wants to fuck, you got to give it, dude. If you feel a connection, you got to hit it, and that's it, guys.
Yeah.
And I would never be an
Well, damn.
opportunist like that. But let me ask you a question. Now that we have this capitalist here, let me ask you a question, Danny. What kind of
Yes.
stocks should we be looking at right now? If we could want to get out of this with a little bit of cash.
Why are you
wanna get out of this whole thing with a little bit of
why
cash.
are you winking?
You
Why
want
are
to
you
get out of this? Do you have any inside tips, Danny? What kind of stocks are you going to buy when no one?
Inside tips?
Because I have some cash sitting around, and it's actually
Are you
saving.
asking Danny if he can commit securities fraud with us on air?
I don't have any insider tips. I don't-
I want to know what.
Zoom Media has been a stock market darling, but
No, it's
probably
out of range now. It's out of range now. I do think the weed stocks are going to make a comeback. I do think all the like Canadian weed stocks are going
Weed
to bounce
stocks.
back.
Okay. I might go
I'll give
mushroom
you
with Kevin O'Leary.
My one piece of advice I will give you is don't buy weed stocks. They're fucking. Those things are just like hand grenades.
But what
Well,
about
Danny,
Kevin O'Leary's
well-
mushroom?
Well, Danny,
O'Leary.
first of all, it's too late. Second of all,
Yeah.
I don't,
they
My
could make a
friend
comeback. They could make a comeback. You don't
My
know.
friend messaged me the other day and she goes, quick investing question. She goes, what happens if a company goes bankrupt? Do you get any money for that? She goes, what happens if it goes bankrupt and gets delisted? And I was like, yeah, you don't get anything.
So if they're
I'm
delisted,
like, why?
that's out.
Yeah,
Lost my mind.
she was like, is there any wiggle room on that? Any wiggle room on
Any
that?
wiggle room on the delisted?
on the bankruptcy
There's a-
delisting. I was
Stocks,
like, yeah,
what
you
a
get
what?
nothing. And she bought some like shitty penny stock, some weed stock or whatever.
But no, but all the weed stores in the States and in Canada have been like doing like crazy business right now.
Yeah,
Thank
but
you.
the problem is that they're
Plenty.
like. Do you think like a liquor store makes crazy money?
Yeah, they're doing great.
But I'm saying like, it's like they're not drug dealers. They just like sell a product. I don't know. It's not like I would just as soon own Canopy Growth Corp as I own Constellation Brands, which is I don't really care to. You know, and Constellation makes booze. It's the same thing. For the retail, I don't. Yeah, I just bought an ounce of weed, so I'm.
The markup is great on weed because it's so cheap and we're
It's not
used to
that great.
alcohol.
No, it's not that great.
The markup?
Good weed. Good
but I'm-
weed is expensive to grow.
Oh, really?
No, Misha's talking about shit weed.
Yeah, you're talking
No,
about
hey
sugar,
man,
so-
I find weed is so I smoke so little, like I can just
Yeah.
I microdose weed basically. I just microdose
Yeah.
one hitter at a time, and that's it.
You-
And it
you
can go
microdose
months.
it?
I microdose it. But I think the hot shit is the mushrooms because Kevin O'Leary's in it, and that guy's a shark and he's a fucking Dragon's Den. You know what I mean? Dragon and
That stuff I like. Yeah, that stuff I like.
That seems
But
brilliant.
it's actual psilocybin.
it's psilocybin. Kevin O'Leary's getting in on a psilocybin company, and I want to give
But it's
him
illegal,
Yeah, they're-
obviously. It's only if it becomes legal.
They're
But Kev,
starting to roll
with a
back-
bull
they're
like
starting to
Kevin
roll
O'Leary
back the
behind it.
laws on it. They're starting to roll
I
back the
mean-
laws on it.
Yeah, they're starting to.
They
They're starting
they
to. A
have to
couple
make
of
mushrooms
states.
legal.
I think a couple of states in America are legalized.
I think Washington made mushrooms legal for medicinally.
for
It
medicinal.
was
Yeah.
like Denver. I think Denver like decriminalized psilocybin mushrooms or something.
Yeah,
like
they
Oh,
were
okay.
those lefties. Yeah, no.
Denver's not lefties. Boulder
they're not?
is.
Oh,
No, Denver's fucking
libertarian?
red state. No.
Oh, really? But they
Yeah.
legal.
Not Denver.
Col-
Denver,
oh,
the
Col-
city?
sorry, not Denver. Denver is probably the city is blue and Boulder's
Yeah.
blue, but the rest is pretty conservative.
Yeah,
no, you
but
got Aspen. You got Aspen. You got
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
progressive, like passing
bunch
the
of
weed
places.
laws. Very
No, those were
progressive.
yeah. Yeah, they were.
When I used to work at the company selling generators, I could tell if there were a lot of Republicans in a state by how many people needed the generators fixed. A lot of calls from Colorado. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's like these end of the
The
world.
generator
preppers.
business must be doing great right now, by the way. The generator business. is
Oh,
probably
and
going through
any
the roof.
any prepping related
Yeah, dude.
kind of that kind of stuff. End of the world guns. They sold more guns in the U.S. They sold the same amount. What is it? They sold 2 million guns in the month of March. And that was only rivaled to after Sandy Hook, I think, some big shooting. There was where because basically they're like, we're going to take your guns. So then
Yeah, I
there's a
know.
surge.
I know
There's
after
a
the
surge to
shootings,
buy
they do a
guns.
surge because the
And-
NRA goes in campaigns after the surges.
So, anyways, after Obama got elected, Sandy
Danny,
Hook,
sorry.
and
On this show, we call him Hussein Obama. You have to say Hussein Obama or don't say
Hussein
that.
Obama. Oh, okay. Hussein. Can I just call him Hussein?
You can call him Hussein. You can just call him Hussein.
You want to know a funny story? Actually, I texted Ryan last week, and I go, like our friend Justin Silver had coronavirus, and he was like posting about it on the story. So I'm like, hey, did you see Justin has it? He's really sick. And he's like, what? I'm like, yeah. He's like, he's really sick. I'm like, go check his Instagram story. And like, Ryan messaged me back. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, there's nothing. I don't see it. And I'm like, Justin Silver. He's like, oh, he's like, I checked Trudeau. He just thought I called him Justin.
Yeah.
Well, you are a member of the Liberal Party of Canada, so I understand why he would assume that. You know, you are card carrying.
I did vote for him twice.
Twice. Okay.
Really?
Okay. Maybe I was a little unfair on the Trump accusations, and maybe I got to pull back on that, everyone. But no, it's been a great podcast, dude. I can't believe you had the virus. You came out of it. You're an inspirational story. You're a hope for the world.
I spread it all over Florida.
Right
We're
after
calling
I
you.
said it.
You know what? I'm going to call it right now. Danny Polishchuk is Florida's Terry Fox. Okay. This is.
That's it.
I hope not.
Yep.
That's not good at all.
Yeah, that's good though.
That sounds like a grim prognostication.
Your legacy will live on. Your legacy will live on.
I'm gonna get a statue down by the casino here. They have a casino here that's literally in an outdoor like mall, like a really like fancy like outdoor mall kind of thing.
Mhm.
And then there's just a casino at the mall.
Is the
God bless
casino not
America.
shut down?
God bless
What?
America.
Oh yeah. But they took a while to close down.
Yeah.
They did not go in peace.
A lot of money on the line.
That must have been
and
hard
these
for them.
seniors.
Well,
Why
Florida's
can't we
also
just open a
crazy 'cause
seniors only casino?
Florida's,
We're gonna open.
Florida's
They love
crazy
it.
because you can still smoke inside in Florida in a lot of places.
What?
I
Yeah.
haven't seen that. The casino you can though, yeah.
There's bars. There's bars in Miami you can smoke inside.
I heard
really?
they got a lot of oxy floating around too. Got a lot of oxy, Danny?
They got a lot of everything, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's a fun place.
people
It's a fun place.
Yeah, people like to fucking party down here, but there's nothing going on because everything's closed.
Have you had a Cubano yet? Did you get a Cubano?
I had one last time I was here. There's this place. It's called Sanguich. It's really
Yeah.
good.
Sanguich.
Sanguich to Miami. If you ever.
Versailles.
Insane.
Versailles is the famous one. Versailles is the famous one in Miami
No,
for the
Yeah.
I've never
Cubano.
been there. See, now I'm like, I don't do Miami shit here. Like I
Yeah.
literally just like.
What about the Jewish community, Danny? I heard there's a strong Jewish community out there. You're reaching out to them, going to the synagogue, maybe going to the temple. Or that's
You know what? You know what? Funny enough is that that dude who I met to get weed from tonight,
Yeah, the religious
Yeah.
guy.
the religious guy. I met him outside of a synagogue.
That's.
I thought you
great.
said you met him at a poker game.
I thought you.
No, sorry. No. I met him originally at a poker game. Tonight, I went to go see him because he got me weed, and I met him at a synagogue.
Wow.
Was he observing? Was he observing?
He is observant. Yeah, he's
So
super
can-
religious.
Is the weed kosher? Is that can you kosher that too or no?
Boo!
I'll tell you this.
Wow,
The
I
weed-
hit
the
a hack
weed-
joke in the Jewish community. That's a hack.
I'll tell
one.
you
Hey, the
this.
Jewish
No,
community?
I'll tell you this.
Look at the
I'll tell you
non-Jews.
this,
They think it's original. They like it.
Amish. The weed is definitely more kosher than the Cubano. Okay.
Yeah.
There's no.
Yeah. It's
By
God.
the way, Cubano, ham, cheese, bread. Passover's coming up. What are you gonna do for Passover? What's the plan?
Probably gonna have to do it like this, which blows. Because
Yeah.
Big
I'm not
Passover
doing
fan.
Passover. I mean, Passover is canceled. You're not getting together with your
You
family.
can't
Where
get
are we
together.
hiding the Afikoman?
We're not. It's Passover's got canceled. Literally, Passover, like everything else, is canceled this year.
Official. Is there a Jewish community board where they posted it?
Like
They said nope.
I think it's in a week from tonight or a week from yesterday or something.
It's coming up.
No, what do
It's
you
coming
mean?
up.
You're not allowed to get together right now.
That's it. Not allowed.
Who in their right mind is bringing their grandparents to like have a get together? Like,
Yeah,
I think
no,
Hasidic Jews might. I think Hasidic Jews might still try to do some Passover.
no, even here
Zoom
they
it.
haven't. No,
Zoom it.
even we are.
We did a meditation. We're zooming our meditation. We call it Zoom meds.
Oh, okay.
Zoom meditation. I did one on Sunday. 800 people.
What's the point of zooming it?
The Zoom meditation, because you get a Babaji.
Oh, it's a guided meditation.
It's a guided meditation. They do a little talk off the top,
Someone
some
leads
inspirational words. It's basically
And you
religion.
do the guided meditation.
What's that?
You do the guided meditation.
We
I don't
go to one
lead
every
it.
week.
We do one every week.
Oh, you just go and you watch it.
We sit in.
meditate.
Yeah.
I meditate.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
Because God is great, brother.
So you're saying Passover's off the table? I'm still trying to get.
Easter.
I'm trying
What do
to
you
have
think
a
about
little
Easter?
Easter. I'm trying to have a little bit of Easter.
You know, Easter. I mean, again, it's like maybe at that point, but it'll be pretty risky to be like we're just gonna get the whole family together, especially if you
Not
have
the
any
whole
sort of
family
like.
together.
Yeah.
No. Just
Do you have
immediate.
any
Just
elderly? Oh, okay, yeah. But are
Yeah.
any of those immediates like in elderly?
50s. I mean, to me that's old.
not that old.
I'm gonna hide
To me,
chocolate
that's
eggs
old.
around the community for
To
the
me, that's
kids.
old and gross. But
No,
I'm
talking
gonna
about,
hide
like, over
chocolate
80.
eggs. I'm gonna hide chocolate eggs in the community for the kids, just so they have
Nice.
something to do. You know, when they're out, they can go and play together.
They're
Have you
not
noticed
supposed to be out.
Have you noticed that the parks are just
Yeah.
caution taped off?
Yeah.
There's
I saw
so few
kids.
people
I saw
here,
kids
though.
learning how to ride bikes today.
There's
still
honestly,
going
all
out.
the beaches. Dude, they close
Canada-
all the beaches in Florida.
but in
Yeah.
Canada, we're so good with the quarantine that like in here, nobody. Like yesterday, I went for a walk at the McMichael Art Gallery. I just went for a walk in the middle of the night. Nobody's out. There's like statues of wolves that freak me out, but other than that, great walk.
Is it
Nobody
cold?
cares here. It was kind of chilly, but I put on a jacket. Even I had to go to
No,
Toronto.
I'm just saying
for-
maybe that's here. It's like, dude, like there's not a lot of people out, but New York was bad. People were telling me like even like a week and a bit ago, like my friend was like, yeah, like people were playing 5-on-5 basketball in the park and like.
Yeah, they had to take the nets off the rims off.
Come
the
on,
nets.
guys.
New
Ball is
Yorkers
life.
just don't like being told what to do.
Yeah, that's it. They're bad.
Floridians. You don't think Floridians like being told what to do?
They don't. But the thing is here because it's older. Like you
Yeah.
don't. A lot of people, you're like, look, yeah, go.
A lot of
outside,
seniors. They're sheep.
die. Yeah,
They're more
They're
cautious.
sheep. They're just more cautious because they don't want to die.
Dude,
It'd be
especially with
frightening to be a man. You know how cold, scary it would be to be an old person right now, where you're like, if I like shake the wrong person's hand, I may die.
my mom.
Yeah,
doesn't give
no,
a
I can't
shit.
imagine.
My mom's. You guys are all pussies, dude. She's fucking with
So
us.
you're-
I had to
Is she?
lock her in. I had to block her in with my car because she's like, "Fuck you, I don't care." We blocked her in and we left her here. 2-week quarantine.
Do you think we're gonna come out of this with a lot of like?
Dude, she won't. She's like, "Fuck you." She's telling me they got a cure in India. Everyone
Do you
in India's like, "We got a cure." Fuck you guys. They have him on the news. This guy. Just
Do
tell-
you think we're gonna come out of this with a lot of like brand new agoraphobes?
Probably not.
I think
No,
love's gonna make a comeback.
A lot of
and-
germaphobes for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen some people who are like, yeah, I don't know. I felt some people were kind of going over the top.
Like what were you seeing?
I saw when I flew to Florida, there was a guy in the airport he was wearing a full, and this was on March 14th. He was wearing a full, like one of those like painter suits.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those just like
Like a
white
hazmat?
No, it wasn't a hazmat. It's just like those suits you buy to paint in that are like disposable.
okay.
Oh,
yeah,
plastic,
yeah.
like a plastic
He was
suit.
wearing that. No, that's or like paper or whatever. But he's wearing that in the airport.
Like a
He also-
jumpsuit.
Okay.
But it's a full body suit. Like you wear it. Yeah, it zips up like to here. And it covers
Oh
your face.
wow, he covered
He
up.
was wearing that in the airport, but he also had like a Louis Vuitton bag. It was really weird.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he was just styling. He was just styling on your ass.
That's what I couldn't tell. I was like, is this just fashion?
Oh, you guys. Oh, so are you guys predicting some fashion influence from the corona? A little bit of fashion influence, maybe some the
Do you
mask.
do you see the New Balance masks that they were making?
Yeah, I'm waiting.
Yeah,
for
those are pretty. Those are pretty pimp.
That's a fire.
pretty
That's
pimp.
a fire.
They're sexy,
mask.
eh?
I
Armor
just
makes
got a
it
new
sexy.
New Balance hat. I got a new New
Yeah.
Balance hat.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Yeah. The New Balance
Yeah.
masks. They're
Yeah.
making them instead of clothes right now.
I miss when it came out that New Balance's owner was a Trump supporter.
Yeah.
Everyone was doing boycott New Balance, and then a bunch of like Unite the Right people were on Twitter going, "New Balance is the official shoe of white people." And that was just like that was damage control. They had to sign Kawhi Leonard that day. They had to get Kawhi, fucking Naomi Osaka, Coco Gauff.
Yeah,
They had to
yeah.
sign up every black athlete they could who wasn't already
You got to do it.
taken up.
Yeah, shouldn't have been talking shit. Now you got to pay them.
Yeah.
I mean, that Kawhi Leonard deal is pretty good move. Besides the pandemic that's going on.
How do you think he's holding up? He's pretty stoic. You think he's like Grace under pressure right now?
Yeah, I think he's probably just misses basketball, like the rest of us.
Yeah.
I think he's probably just like literally. Yeah, I mean, for the load management thing though, if he comes back and he's like, "I'm not playing games," you're like, "Fuck you."
Why? What do you mean?
He has to.
Well, so, like, I mean, I guess there's not going to be a regular season at this point. But imagine like they came back and then he's still sitting out the occasional game, and you're like, "You had this whole vacation."
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I think the season's shot. I think Toronto is going to stay the world champions.
That's pretty cool. So
You know,
it's the
and
only
that's-
very small consolation from this is that
It's-
we'll be the reigning champions for an extra year. You think
Extra
they'll
2
do some
years.
sort of like weird? Yeah, it doesn't sound like. It seems like even starting up in like if you're saying Canada Day is when they're going to reopen, and it's like you can't. The NHL and the NBA they can't start up in July because then when do they start their next season?
Yeah.
Well,
Do a short
I mean, they got a couple months off. I don't know. Like they could just get a smaller vacation this time.
Smaller vacation. Or also, can you shorten the season, or does every team play every team one time only?
Well, they would have to short. Well, they'd either have to. No. Well, I've heard from the NHL, they're saying if they come back, it'll be like they're going to go straight to the playoffs. Like the regular season was supposed to end in like a few days from now.
Yeah, they were coming up on playoffs anyway.
Yeah, like the playoffs would have been starting in like the next. I think the NHL playoffs were supposed to start next Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay, so NHL's done then.
Not
NHL's
necessarily, but yeah. Well, no. Like I'm just saying the regular season is done 100%.
Wow, it is our time, right? Podcasters unite. It's our time as podcasters.
Dude, opening day for baseball was like yesterday or something. 2 days, like they might lose the whole baseball season. They're starting to talk about like the NFL. They're
Yeah.
starting to like look into like what's the NFL gonna do? It's like
Well, the Olympics are next year now. Olympics are off the table.
Olympics.
Olympics are done.
Wow.
Dude, this could have
Was this Euro Cup year or was it World Cup year? Which-
Euro Cup year.
Euro Cup, yeah.
Yeah, and then this is fucking very unprecedented.
It's fucked up. It is like the
And
world.
you know
know
whose
what?
fault it is? Obama.
Oh, you think it's Obama?
Hey,
eh?
what did I say? Hussein,
You taking a
Obama.
shit at me?
I think it's right wing, not enough
Amish.
health care.
You in the bathroom?
No, yeah, I am, but I'm not taking a shit. Pardon me.
I'm like,
Pardon me.
Are you just casually taking a shit during your podcast?
No.
Oh, he's smoking a cigarette in the bathroom.
Smoking
Okay.
cigarettes now.
Oh,
I
no,
guess
it's,
with all
a,
that free health care,
it's a
why
microdoser.
not?
It's my microdoser.
Oh, it's just one of those.
Okay, it's a one-hit wonder.
A one hit out.
That keeps me at one hit at a time only. I can't roll them. I don't know.
But you
Dan,
know what?
Don't you find that
As
it makes
much-
you too tired?
What?
Weed.
You know what's really weird, actually? So, I smoke tons of weed. Moved to New York, I stopped smoking weed pretty much entirely.
Weird. You stopped in Toronto too.
So
How did you
occasionally,
feel? How did you feel after
felt
you
fine.
stopped?
I felt fine.
Yeah.
I honestly, I like.
You felt
the thing is,
better
like,
or
moving-
worse or same? Or what?
Probably better slightly, I would
Yeah.
say. But and then I just came here, and I'm just like I would not stop quit 100%, but basically
Yeah.
smoke maybe
I was
once a
worried about
week.
you mentioning it. I was like, do you want to mention that on the podcast? But it's fine. You don't care.
Nobody watches this. And then
Hey, we got fans in Jacksonville. Okay, they're writing stories.
You're in,
yeah,
you're in
MAGA
Ron
fans,
DeSantis'
my
Florida.
people.
You're in Ron DeSantis' Florida. Don't you forget it.
Oh, that's funny. You don't give a fuck.
But anyways, and now that I'm here, I'm just bored as fuck. So I just got a bunch of weed.
You know what my question is, though? You know what we're
Drink
saying? It's
wine by
unprecedented.
myself.
Shit got shut down
might
during
get
the
a
Spanish
wine.
flu, though. Remember Spanish flu? I mean, we don't remember it intimately,
Yeah,
but
I mean, I remember I've read much about it since all
like
the
shit,
shit's done,
shit
yeah.
got shut down. Shit got
wasn't
shut
that
down.
wasn't that like 19? When did Spanish flu? happen?
1918.
18. Oh,
It was
back
pretty
in
much
the
like
day.
100 years ago.
Yeah, that's 100 years ago. Yeah.
But again,
So
did they have subways?
I don't think,
I
but
feel
but
like
When did the Industrial Revolution?
Yeah.
No, that was well after the Industrial
That was in the
Revolution. That was like World
1800s.
War.
They
That
had
was like
subway.
World War
They had
II.
subway by then in New
Yeah,
York.
the Industrial Revolution's like the steam engine.
Yeah, no. They
1800s.
so they were in the modern economy, and they still shut down for the Spanish flu. Then everyone.
Yeah, but again, the Spanish flu didn't have the transmissibility of fucking coronavirus.
Yeah, it's interesting. It is gonna make us
Dude,
like
they're you know how quickly they're changing how you get it. Like at first they were like De Blasio was like, yeah, don't worry about it, just go on with your own life. He's like, you can't really get it. And then they were like, oh, you get it from like, you know, touching something. And literally today they're like, oh, someone can just breathe near you and you
6
get
feet.
it.
Yeah, I heard that for a while ago. I heard it's 6 feet.
So then the
not
masks
even
are good.
enough.
The masks can cover you for
That's-
that 6 feet. They can make that 6 feet to 2 feet.
They're trying to say now everyone should be wearing the masks.
Yeah.
Fuck.
They're
Or
changing the
bandanas.
guidelines.
And then the blue gloves. I'm gonna get the blue gloves. They're kind of hot. I like the blue gloves.
I haven't been wearing gloves. I haven't
Outside.
been doing anything, but again, I did get it, so joke on
You
me.
already got it, so you're good, and you're just gonna be a spreader, and that's fine, Danny. You didn't know. You
Yeah.
found out after.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
But Danny,
I
we should
partied
wrap
that
up.
first week.
We should wrap up though. It's getting a little late. Did
Cool.
you want to plug anything?
Yeah,
Just follow me on social media, Danny Jokes.
Danny jokes.
Jokes. You got the
Yeah.
Punching Down podcast.
Oh, I got
right?
my new podcast, Punching Down, Fuckonomics podcast with Brian Long. We're still doing those live via satellite because he's in New York because he refuses to leave. And
Dude, he's probably still doing mics. That guy.
there's no
He's
mics in
wild.
New York.
He's wild. That guy.
Have you
He's doing
tried?
mics,
Have you
man.
tried
He
any of
works
these
so hard.
online comedy shows? These
refuse.
Instagram comedy shows.
I can't do it.
I just did one. It was so good. I mean, I didn't do it, but I watched it. It was so good. I thought it would be so weird too, but it was actually really good.
In what way though?
The headliner was, I was dying, dude. It was so funny. The jokes were good.
Yeah, but
Oh,
she's
okay.
funny.
Awkward.
but
It was
she's really
awkward. There's a
good.
couple of awkward people, and then the headliner, I was like, fuck, it's so good. I was
Who
dying.
was the headliner?
Selma
You
Hindi.
know Salma Hindi?
You know Selma Hindi? She's
Uh-huh.
headline Yas Queen. Dude, it was so funny, man.
She's good. Yeah.
Dude, the stories she had, I mean, the shit she has to go through. She's talking about being offered like an arranged marriage into like the guy's already got like 3 wives. It was such a funny story, dude. That's so fucking wild.
American
Dude, can
Proposal
you
would be a
imagine?
fourth.
And people are trying to talk her into it. It was so good. I feel like I shouldn't say too much about it, but it was tight, man. It was tight set. I was dying. And you can tell from the comments. There's like 300 people or 200 people watching, and
Uh-huh.
you can tell like if someone's killing it, the comments go wild. We were all
Oh,
just
okay.
comment. But I think that's the future, man, because the late night stuff doesn't work, but these YouTubers have been doing it. And
Yeah. Wait,
and
you think the future is stand-up comedy?
no,
Live stand-up comedy through this?
No. I think we're
God,
shifting
what a
into like we're
bleak
all
future.
gonna be podcasters now. Everyone's getting a home podcasting
Well,
kit.
like, what if you zoomed and then everyone else is like quiet and they can only laugh while you're doing your material? Does that count?
They muted us
Hopefully
all.
not.
There's too many people.
Yeah,
You have to mute them.
You just have to
Even the
mute
Too many
meditation.
everybody.
people.
Even the
Imagine
meditation.
someone like gets the hack to like unmute it and then they're heckling you.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right,
so
sick.
we have the Punching Down podcast, Fuckonomics. You have a movie out, Filth City,
Yeah,
and they just
Where
did a
I,
remake of it, right? With Damian Lewis. What's that remake?
they
you did of
stole our idea of the town or whatever. Run this town.
the town? They stole your
What the
idea.
fuck?
You didn't know there's another Rob Ford movie coming out with
I
Damian
didn't know.
Lewis.
Who made
It's
it?
out.
Damian.
It's out.
It's like a big Hollywood movie.
Motherfuckers. Did
Yeah,
they
it's
call
like a
you
big-
even? Fuck,
Starring
man.
Bobby Axelrod
I don't.
himself.
Why would they call me?
To be like, hey, consult. Let us pay you money and fucking work on
Dude,
it.
they
with
had
us or something.
first off. They probably had no idea. No, they had no idea that we even made it.
I guess so, eh? And Hollywood does that. They'll just make 2 movies at a time. Remember when Armageddon
Yeah.
and Deep Impact came out at the same time? It's like, come on, guys.
That's first off, and theirs isn't a comedy. And
What are we doing?
Yeah,
You do it a lot.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you just do.
All
two-
right.
The
It's
asteroid
fine, you can
movies.
just do it. But no,
So
yours,
where's this-
yours-
where's this-
but honestly, Danny's Filth City, Danny's Rob Ford movie is super tight. I watched it. But dude, it's hilarious, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great writing.
Are you airing? Are you going to release the video of this or just the audio?
Both.
We release it all. What do you want? You
Oh,
want the
okay.
video out there?
No, I do. I do.
I want shortcuts too. I might send you some shortcuts if you want to put them up or whatever.
What do you mean shortcuts?
Like I want
He's-
to cut
he's
out
gonna
some
cut-
1
he's gonna
minuters and
cut.
send them up.
Oh yeah. Oh, shortcuts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shortcuts.
yeah. Just the way you said shortcuts was like.
Yeah, no, that's probably not that's an easy
Made
one.
it one word like it was on like a desktop kind of thing.
True. But yo, great chatting, man. Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah.
Be safe.
Thank you. You
Thank
too.
you. You
Don't
too.
let Canada fall into communism. Nice to talk to you.
Nice to
You're
talk
our
to you,
last
Danny.
hopes.
All right,
Peace.
man. Yeah,
Guys.
we'll save you.
All right, this has been Let's Come to an Understanding. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next week.
We'll see
Bye-bye.
you. Thank you. My Jacksonville baby.
Let's come to an understanding. 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 I said, let's come to an understanding. 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 Let's come to an understanding.